All right, we are here with our big 6-pound barrel of 6090 stage 1 coarse silicone carbide grit. And we had a couple of chips in the barrel, which is really interesting considering that this black onyx has been running for 8 weeks and we've had no chipping to this point. So that tells me that the 3-pound barrel we had this running in was not letting it get the action that it needed to shape, and that's why we hadn't been losing any mass, and that's why we weren't seeing the progress that we wanted. And we are really seeing a lot of progress this week. A lot more shaping has happened. This little pit line that we're seeing here is carrying grit. But I don't know if it's just going to erode or if we can actually grind that out. And I would let this stone go one more week to make sure. Let's just keep it good and wet here. Put it back in some water. And let's take a look at the rest of these and see if we're getting that progress we wanted. And we can maybe start splitting this batch. Goodness, we're not getting a good focus today. Yeah, I think this could probably use a little bit more time. I mean, 8 weeks has been a long time. I think had we had this in a larger barrel to begin with, it would have moved more quickly. They're just large stones for that 3-pound barrel. Oh, goodness, yeah. I do like how smooth they're getting, but they still need more work on the pitting that I'm seeing here. Wow, this is really lovely. Boy, this onyx is really, really hard. There's a little bit right there. Right here on the bottom. That's really smooth, even though it doesn't look it. Just this one right here. That's almost ready to go to stage 2. Just that little bit on the edge. Well, our experiment moving it to a larger barrel was perfect. It really is working. It is smoothing out more. It is getting more of a shape. It's grinding out some of these little pits and tiny fracture lines. Nothing is ready to be pulled out. I had a couple pieces that were really super close, but I am going to let them run one more week in stage 1. And we are adding ceramic media to help facilitate the grit moving around the stone and to cushion it. Wow. Okay. We're going to put these in our chip projects, and we are going to recharge our 6090 for one more week. We're back with what's left of our pink Aventurine that is in stage 1, 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. These are some of the larger pieces, and we wanted to just give it that extra little boost to see if we could really do what we wanted. And this is still feeling rough right here. I'm not too crazy about that. It's chipping in my hand as we speak. So I'm going to take a chisel to that and try and work off some more of this that's breaking off. Set that one aside. This feels really good. Not really catching that. So that can move to 120. This can move to 120. There's 2 more of these large pieces. We had them running in that big 6-pound barrel because of the size of these stones. And it was the same MOHS hardness as that black onyx. Here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I just want to let that go one more week. See what the deal is with that. I think that will grind out. I'm just going to go one more week with this one as well. All right, so 3 more, only 2 pieces of the pink Aventurine are moving to the hold barrel, and then these will go back in with the black onyx to run for 1 more week, and then we are done. And I'm gonna chip that off with the chisel, and then I'm going to throw this back into the 6090 barrel so it can smooth out, and then that is the end of pink Aventurine in stage 1 for this week. We're back with that pink Aventurine stone that I chipped. I took off that rough edge here, and these are the little chips that came off. So I'm gonna wet this down a little. Oh yeah, that's going to smooth out lovely. Hopefully just 1 week in 6090. We'll clean that edge up. We'll have a much better stone. Okay, now we're really done with the pink Aventurine for this week. All right, we have our Australian lace agate, not to be confused with Mexican crazy lace. It has been running for a while in our 6090 stage 1. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 weeks in 6090. So we pulled some out previously that was ready to go to 120, and we're going to see how much more of this is ready to go. Now we had this combined in the 6-pound barrel with the black onyx and the pink Aventurine, all the same MOHS hardness, but we wanted a bigger rotation. So the 6-pound barrel was better for some of these larger stones. That is looking really nice. It's getting really close. There's a little bit of pitting I can feel right in here. So that's going to go back in to our stage 1 6090 and run a little bit longer. This one is not feeling as smooth as it could. There's a little couple spots. It's feeling better than last week though, so we are making progress on it. It was the right decision to move it to the bigger barrel. Yeah, this whole side in here needs work. Let's keep it wet. Oh, yep. Been working on this divot in here. Let's see what happens. I'm not getting the progress I was hoping, but again, it's only been 3 weeks. It feels like it's been running forever because of the stuff it's been combined with has been running so much longer. So really, it's only been, 3 weeks. So it can definitely stand another week. Frankly, with that being said, I'm surprised the other stuff was ready. But they were much smaller stones. Boy, that feels good. Just have that one spot right there. Right here. Gorgeous, gorgeous stones. These patterns are so busy. You just get lost in them. Yeah, it's like every one I pick up, I'm getting like one little spot. So I can just know that it's going to need another week. So once you feel one spot, you don't really need to keep feeling for more. Try and make this go a little bit faster. Here's that favorite piece. Still needs more work. Goodness, I don't think anything was ready. Absolutely nothing. Wow. That surprised me. I thought so, would at least have half of it ready. All right, all of the lace agate is going back. It's going to be recharged for another week of stage 1 of 6090. Huh. Nothing moving forward yet. Okay, be right back. Green Tree Moss Agate has been running for 3 weeks in our 6090 Coarse Silicone Carbide Stage 1. And we are going to see how it's progressing and if anything can be split out to wait for 120. And we're going to move anything left to the 6-pound barrel to join those other rocks because, again, these are larger rocks. And they're not really getting the grindage rotation that they need in the 3-pound barrel. Just use the tiniest bit more. Wow. So live and learn. Larger rocks need a bigger barrel for the circumference to rotate. Oh, I love this piece. Needs just a little bit more. And again, it hasn't been running all that long. All this needs to go. This little piece is ready for medium. Not noticing any chipping in the barrel when I cleaned it out, so that's good news. There's quite a bit of pits and valleys and lines on that one. Wow, that feels great. So close to being ready for 120. We are watching this to see how that would hold up. I'm curious once it goes into the bigger barrel if it's going to get beat up much more. This is dangerously close to being ready to go to medium. Just teensy tiny little imperfections. Just a little bit worked out. Yeah, this is getting better. We've got some beat up ceramic media. Really, really close. Oh my gosh, so close. All right, this is going to go into that 6-pound barrel with the pink Aventurine, black Onyx, and Australian lace. And that should be enough to fill that barrel. Only one piece is going to be held out for medium. Okay, that's it for Green Tree Moss Agate for this week. It's going to get a recharge, just in a bigger barrel. Back with our Ametrine, which has been running for 6 weeks in our Stage 1 6090 Coarse Silicone Carbide Grit. And we're going to see how much of this is ready to move to 120. That whole section here is still really rough. Now, we didn't have enough in our little 1.5 pound barrel to run, so we had to combine it with another stone, which was our Citrine. Same MOHS hardness. Yeah, these are just not progressing like I had wanted. There's still some rough spots on these. So really, nothing on this Citrine is ready to move forward to medium. So this entire batch of Ametrine is going to get a recharge, and we'll see it again next week. Citrine. I'm not really counting it as a new project because I only pulled a few pieces to help fill our 1.5 pound barrel, which is running our Ametrine. And as you can see, there's, you know, maybe 1/4 of the barrel filled. So we needed something more to run the rest of that in Stage 1. And so we added some rough Citrine. So this is after 1 week. And it's progressing nicely. It's really lemon yellow. A lot of shaping happened. Frankly, it looks better than the Ametrine does. But it's going to need another week. So we will add this to the barrel. Which we were really just using it as filler. Okay, this is going to get recharged. Let's put it in. Let's see how much space we have in this barrel. And we are just under half. So I'm going to mix it with the ceramic media a little bit. Whoop. It helps if you actually put the lid on. So this doesn't happen. It goes flying everywhere. Whew. All right, hang on. Yeah, we need more filler. I could add more Citrine rough. I really don't want to. But I'm going to because I have some. All right, hold on. We'll be right back. All right, here's our Citrine. This is rough we purchased from an eBay store, and it's really, really nice, but I am gonna give it a rinse, some of that rock dust off of it. So this is the citrine in the rough, and again, it came from an eBay store. Not 100% sure. It is what it says it is, but we're just going by what the vendor's claiming. Oh, a lot of rock dust. So let's just add that. Probably add one more piece. I don't know if we add that piece, is it gonna inhibit the movement? Or take it out. I think that's plenty. All right, I'm going to add a little tiny bit of ceramic media just to get into some of the voids in here. And then we're going to recharge it and run it for another week. And we will put these pieces aside in case we need them in the future. Okay, we'll see this next week. And we're back with our Carnelian, which has been running 3 weeks in our 6090 stage 1 coarse silicone carbide grit. Let's see the condition here. It's going to need a lot more work. That's just the nature of Carnelian. It takes forever in stage 1. I am seeing some progress from last week. Got some pieces that are getting closer. There's that green piece. Yeah. It's gonna need more work. It's just early days for Carnelian. I mean, I'm zipping through this pretty quick here because I already know the whole thing's going to have to stay in. You can actually feel these lines with your finger. That's pretty cool. But as you can see, just needs more work. No chips this week, which is good. But just a lot of stones getting smaller and smaller. Now this one's getting close. You see a lot of the rough edges are worn away and it's shaped pretty nicely. But we still have a little bit in here. I'd like to see if we can maybe smooth out with a little bit more. But yeah, Carnelian, all told, the whole thing is going back for another week. Gosh. Oh, damn it. I knew it was going to do that. We had been watching all these little fracture lines, wondering how long this piece was going to hold out. Well, we found out. You know, I'm going to put this in. See if it shatters some more. Okay, you're done. Carnelian needs one more week of 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. We'll see it next week. Okay, we are moving forward to our 4 barrels that are in medium stage 2, 120, 220 silicone carbide grit. This has been running 1 week and 2 weeks, and let me explain. So I ran this for 1 week in medium, and it needed another recharge. And I went through all my shelves because I have had, you know, a lot of stuff being held. And I missed this bag. I had half a bag of the Snakeskin Jasper here that was ready to go to medium. So I ended up just putting all of it back in and doing another run. Unfortunately, I don't know which pieces have had 2 weeks in 120 and which pieces have had 1 week. But we're going to inspect them all, take a really close look, see if anything is ready to move to pre-polish, which would be 500 aluminum oxide. So let's just pull the snakeskin out of here. I usually have this part done before the camera starts. Okay, let's take a look, see where we're at. Whew. Very pretty. The slurry was super clay red, like a brick red. It was really, really thick and pretty and foamy, kind of interesting slurry on this one. There is a line here, a little crevice. It doesn't look like it really caught any grit, so it looks like it's wide enough to not be a problem. The surface is feeling really nice and smooth. I'm not feeling any grainy texture. But now some of these did have these little fracture lines that we decided we were going to leave. Ooh, kind of. There we go. This was in our little 1.5 pound barrel. Wow, that feels gorgeous. Kind of like glass. This is really pretty. This is interesting. I mean, Jaspers, I like to run Jaspers because they're pretty fairly consistently a good stone and they take a really good polish. And we really do like them. And there's such a wide variety of Jaspers. Again, this one is snakeskin. I think I like this piece the best because of the quartz vein that runs all the way through it. It's just such an interesting inclusion to have. It just wiggles its way all the way around that stone. It's really cool. Not so crazy about these black veins, but it's not damage, it's just color in the stone, so can't have everything, I guess. I would say the Snakeskin Jasper so far is ready to move to pre-polish. Not finding anything that's an issue. Except, where was I? Oh well, I think we're good. It's drying really quickly here. We don't want it to get too dried out. It's like a pebble size. Good variety in sizes. That's not catching any grit. It's another one of those quartz seams. It looks like it's got a lot of little things floating in it. That's pretty cool. Little druzy pocket opened up there. Wow, I really can't tell what's been in 1 week and what's been in 2 weeks. That surprises me because I thought the stones that had been in for an extra week would be a little, maybe just a tad smoother. It doesn't feel that way. They all feel identical. Okay. Well then, This is going to get several wash cycles. And then because it's a Jasper, I'm going to put it in 500 pre-polish. I was going to say in the Rotary, but I might have a vibratory barrel opening up today. And if so, I'll put this in the vibratory tumbler and we'll see how that does with Jaspers and hard stones. All right, wash cycles will happen in the Rotary, and then we'll move it to vibration for the aluminum oxide pre-polish. And we're back with our White King's Quartz. It's been running 1 week in stage 2, silicone carbide 120-220. And let's see if it's ready to move forward to 500 or if it needs to stick around another week in stage 2. All right, camera, let's focus. That is a grit pit. Super tiny. I don't even think my dental pick will get into there to get that out. I should probably go back a stage to stage 1 to get that out. I don't know about you, but the sound of the tumblers in the background is very soothing. It's kind of turning into white noise. This week we've made progress, but haven't really been moving a lot of things forward. And we've combined a couple more barrels, so I might have another one open to start a new project today. Last week, we had a lot of barrels open last week. And what we ended up doing was going through our split shelf and finding everything that was ready for 120 and moving things forward that way instead of starting new projects. We wanted to kind of clean up some of the ones that were still sitting on the wall. That I'm not really happy with. I don't know if you can see it because it's like so white. But this fracture line here, I want that worked out some more, and that's not going to happen in 120, so I'm going to bust this stone back to 6090. And sometimes that happens when you do these inspections. You find stuff that was either moved ahead too forward or sustained damage and needs to be busted back. Wow. Some of these are feeling so lovely. Sometimes these little quartz fracture lines erode and open up and kind of make a problem. So what I'm going to do is, when I find these, is I'm going to set them aside to run another batch of 6090. I really only want as close to perfect as possible moving forward. I think last week I was in a bit of a hurry. And I let things slide that I'm not willing to let slide today. And I think that I'm getting a little more strict on what is going to move forward after experiencing the vibratory tumbler this week, because it really just jams the slurry into those little nooks and crannies. And if you don't have a perfectly smooth surface, boy, that vibratory tumbler sure lets you know by getting the slurry stuck in there. So I'm kind of going back to, I want more perfect stones before they move forward. So that's why we're going to see a few things move backwards instead of forward. Not every stone is created equal, even though it's the same type of stone. Some are take longer than others, and that's all right. edge right here. Not happy with that. And you can kind of follow it along a little. And there's another little thing right here. That's going to go back. Wow, I am super stoked at how much of this is ready to move to pre-polish. Stones sure do dry out fast when I'm going through them doing these inspections. But they did get a really good rinse with the washout, with the barrel washout, so I'm not overly concerned about grit on these rotary barrels. But I do try to keep them damp. These white stones are so hard to see the imperfections on that you can sure feel them with your thumb. Ooh, that's just gorgeous. So a lot of people are like, why are you keeping your batches separate instead of, you know, running like hardnesses in the same barrel? And it's like, my answer to that question is kind of twofold. It's kind of like I do both. The reason I start everything separate and I'm not running any mixed batches from the get-go is because I'm trying to create videos on how to tumble a particular stone. And when they get mixed up with other things in the barrel, it's a little harder to do. But as you can witness from these week-to-week videos, I do end up combining barrels because we have to. We need the fullness in the barrel. We need enough stone to run the barrel efficiently. There's only so much ceramic media you can put in a barrel. Wow. Oops, wrong one. Gosh darn it, I really moved a lot of head that I should not have. I think I was hoping that the 120 would really fix those problems. So really, only this is ready to go to 500 right here. And then this batch, I want to send back for one more week in 6090. So it's about half. Which means this is going to go down to probably a 1.5 pound barrel. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to set this aside for 500. I'm just going to put it in a baggie, mark it ready for wash in 500. And then this I'm going to bust back to 6090 in a smaller barrel, a 1.5 pound barrel, because there's not a whole lot of it. And that's what's happening with the White King's Quartz. This is going to get recharged with 6090, so which is a lower grade, so you're going backwards. And when you go backwards, you do not have to wash the stones, like for grit contamination. So that's a nice thing about going backwards, I guess. You got to find your perks where you can get them. All right, this media is for 120, so I'm going to keep it separate. I'm going to put this with 6090 ceramic media. Okay, I'll be back. And we're back with our crushed Prairie Agate, which has been running for 1 week in stage 2, 120, 220 medium silicone carbide grit. Let's take a look and see if it's ready to move forward to pre-polish. Now we had a bunch of this holding, because we had split the batches, and we had the last couple of pieces of Prairie Agate finish stage 1 last week, so we were able to combine it all and move it forward to stage 2, and now we want to see where we're at. I want to really make sure the surface feels really, really good. You know, we very rarely run something a second week in stage 2. But I think some of this, we might actually do that this time. Just not feeling as spectacular as I know it can. And again, I think this might be like the same problem we had with the White King's Quartz, where we just moved it ahead because I was tired of it. Instead of waiting. Being patient. And after the vibratory experiences we had last week, I really like this little divot in here. It's not a grit catcher. It's as smooth as it's going to get, right in here. But it will get loaded with pre-polish from the vibratory tumbler, and it's going to take a lot of work to clean that out. So it's like, do I bust it back to 60-90 to continue working on it there? Or do I just know it's going to be a problem and move it forward to be done with it? I don't think as much of this is as ready as I thought it was. I mean, some of it feels really good, and then some of it, there's just these little tiny fracture marks. I think I am going to 60-90 it. Some of this is going to go backwards. Now that's a druzy pocket. I'm not going to send that back to stage 1 for that. It's just something we have to keep really super clean. Because that's a really interesting natural part of the stone, is to see those little crystal caves. I'm amazed this one's held on as long as it has without breaking off. I don't know. I think this was another case of I just wanted to be done with it. Moved it forward and was just going to settle. And this week I'm not willing to settle. So some of this is going back. And I'm going to call it a repair. Wow, that's gorgeous. That is so ready for pre-polish. It's a really cool piece. Just, I mean, it feels all right, but it's like it almost could benefit just a tiny bit more. All right. I was so excited about this Prairie Agate moving forward. I think we rushed it. Goodness, how could this be dry already? That looks like a fresh chip. Nope, it's not. But I want to see if I could soften that edge some. All right, all of this is ready to wash and then move to 500. All of this I want to bust back to 60-90 and give it another week. I just want to give it the best chance that we can. And agates take a really long time, and I think I was just in a hurry. So, yeah, I'm going to move this back to 60-90. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, we are back with our last barrel that is in stage 2 medium 120-220 silicon carbide quartz. It has been running for a week, and this is just a lot that we've had on the shelf and been working on and working on and working on, and this is such a huge piece. It is just the palest pink at this point. I think the surface texture is nice, and I think that this is actually ready to go to medium. It is such a big piece of stone that I don't think it's going to fit into the vibratory tumbler. So I think this stuff is going to get, you know, a wash cycle and moved to 500 in a rotary. Okay, let's see. I'm feeling a little bit of grit. Could have stood for a better wash, but it feels beautiful. It's just a little bit on that one. Really pretty rose quartz. Little piece. Now we do have a lot of rose quartz that we're waiting to do repairs on the flat lap before we moved it forward. So this is still a split batch. Wow. Just lovely. I'm going to set that over here. So you can see the fracture lines inside. Whew. You can't feel that with a fingernail. Now this right here you can. It's not catching any grit, however. It is drying so fast. It's just got a little nick right here. Kind of wanted to go through a second week of 120. with these bigger stones, it takes longer to tumble. It crushes the ceramic media. And since they have such a heavy weight, they can cause damage to each other. So it's kind of tricky to run larger stones. I don't know. I'm not 100% happy with these. All right, these stones are ready to move forward to 500. That's it, so it's going to get held aside. Oh, I had another little piece stuck in the ceramic media. So I'll go to 500. All of these I want to run a second time in 120, because I just think an extra week will really benefit these stones. There's just the slightest imperfections on them that I would like smoothed out just the littlest bit more. So what I would like, or what I'm gonna do, is put them in the barrel for another week, recharge it with stage 2, 120. Here's a couple of pieces of blue lace agate that we've had waiting for a 120 barrel, and I just wanted to see if if it needed more time, or if it's ready to move to 500, and it could use more time. The surface just wasn't quite smooth enough. And I just think one more week in stage 2 is not going to hurt it. Now, there's not a whole lot in this barrel, but we do have some more MOHS 7 stone that requires a little bit more time in 120, and we will continue to fill this barrel with that. So this medium will run one more week. And the other little lovelies right here we're going to hold to run 500. So a lot of holding this week, not necessarily moving forward. That's rather interesting. So let's see what we've got here. We've got a couple pieces of Tiger's Eye that's ready to go to a 120. So let's put that in that barrel. I don't want to put that lime quartz because it's a little softer than the rose quartz. And then what do we have in here? We've got a little piece of amethyst. We've got another piece of, here's a couple more pieces of rose quartz. We'll put those in as well. I don't want to put really huge pieces in there. Trying to dig out the little ones. I think this one's too big to go in that barrel. That's all we have for quartz. That's a Tiger's Eye. That can go in. That's a Tiger's Eye. That can go in. Alright, these Jaspers are going to be held. Alright. So, we've got stuff all over the place. So, let's just set that back aside. Set that aside. Okay. We will recharge this with medium, with stage 2. and see it next week.